here in the first period. Minor penalties being handed out at 12:47. Houston of the Flames, Secord of the Bruins.
Boston penalty, number 6, Ken Houston. Boston penalty, number 20, Cal Secord. 2 minutes each for roughing.
Roughing penalties.
Time of penalties.
Houston had been doing nothing but running the mouth until Secord reached over the linesman's shoulder and popped him on the butt.
For roughing at 12:47.
So the teams now are at 5 aside. The Bruins had the puck, lost it. It's poked out over the line by Boldarev. Going back is Ricky Smith. Smith gives it to Rattel. Rattel at center ice across the Atlanta line. Left wing to Smith. Rick Smith centers. Rattel deflected one wide of the net. It's picked up by Paul Reinhart. Out of Vale. Vale check. Russell has it. Russell out of his own zone. Had to turn to get away from Middleton. Gives it to Reinhart. Reinhart into center ice. Rattel came back to check in. To Redmond. Redmond tied up in the boards. Got the puck to Middleton. Couldn't control it. Here's Rattel over the Atlanta line. Gentleman Jean Rattel trying to cut in. A rolling shot. Bouchard. The pad save. And it's cleared by Russell to Vale. Eric Vale turning in his own territory. Ahead on the right side to Boldarev. Ivan Boldarev to Vale. Knocked off his stick. Rattel had it. Here's Rattel across the Atlanta line. John Rattel to Smith in the corner. Smith trying to center. Came off the skate. Vale in front of the goal. Couldn't control it. Middleton is there all alone. Tried to center and Reinhart came over to cut it off. Paul Reinhart. Good defensive move by the rookie. Sends Boldarev down the left wing across the Boston line. Boldarev bowled over and a good check by Redmond. Redmond is checked. It's loose in front of the goal, but Miller is there. 6 minutes to play in the period. Miller sends Lalonde over the blue line. Lalonde trying to go around behind the net with it. Bouchard came out of the goal to knock it away. Knocked the stick out of Lalonde's hands as well. Monticello starting back now. Becca, right wing pass to Shan. Shan to McMillan. He couldn't get a stick on it. Miller sends Lalonde in over the line. Coming right in. He shoots. Bouchard, the glove save, and he holds on. Pesky little Bobby Lalonde, who came to the Bruins early this season, turning on his old teammates. He came in pretty neat after getting just back on side. Came in on the backhand, and Bouchard went to his knees to make the stop. Then got it up in the glove. 5:38 remaining, 25 seconds left in the penalties to Houston and Secord. Flint and Bork are still serving their major penalties. Flames with the puck. David Shan trying to clear it out of his own zone is tied up in the boards by Bobby Lalonde, and there's no further play. The Bruins are back at the Omni on one more occasion this year. It's a Saturday night, March 22nd. Saturday, March 22, the Flames and the Bruins at the Omni. You can order tickets by telephone, 577-9600. Charge them to American Express, CNS, Visa, or Master Charge, 577-9600. First of a 5-game road trip for the Flames this afternoon. Puck cleared to the Atlanta line. Lalonde holding it in. He's checked by Chouinard, who feeds it to McMillan. One-on-one with Milbury. Lalonde getting back in a hurry. Here's McMillan trying to cut in, and Milbury steers him into the corner. Mike Milbury and Lalonde still shoving at one another, or McMillan, I should say. Now Lalonde right into the corner, and the Bruins dump it out into the center ice area. The teams are back at 6 aside. Brad Marsh will be one of the intermission guests with Paul Reinhart this afternoon. Got it to Chouinard to McMillan. McMillan dropping it back for Murdoch. Into center ice, Murdoch to Chouinard. He shoots it around the boards into the Boston zone. Gilbert cuts it off. Bruins trying to move out. McMillan came in to break up the play in front to Chouinard, but Miller got back in time to block that pass. Now Secord is checked. Milbury feeds it to Miller. Miller over the Atlanta line. Fires one. Bouchard, the stick save. Miller after the rebound is checked by Bob McMillan. Ahead to Chouinard. Guy couldn't hold the puck at center ice. Milbury leaves it on the boards. Now O'Reilly into the Atlanta zone to Secord. Al Secord to the far corner. There's going to be a penalty coming against the Flames as Marsh muscles O'Reilly into the corner. The puck still loose, they rule. O'Reilly and Marsh still fighting for it. Finally, Marsh hauls O'Reilly down. Secord gives it to McCrimmon in front. Centering pass turned aside by Bouchard. Here's Smith for the Bruins. The Boston goal is empty. They've got 6 attackers out there. And as Houston gets a stick on it, play is called. Brad Marsh is headed for the penalty box. Now Houston and McCrimmon do a little shoving. O'Reilly looking for somebody. The linesmen are quick to get between Houston and any of the Boston Bruins. Now Houston and Secord again start to look daggers at one another. In the meantime, Brad Marsh has been ticketed for a trip to the penalty box. This will give Boston a power play chance. Their first of this hockey game. The Flames will try to kill it off for Shelley Heaton of Dunwoody. But with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first period, the score, Atlanta nothing, Boston nothing. Brad Marsh gets the penalty for hooking at 15:53 of this first period. The Bruins power play good on 24% of their chances, 30 power play goals and 125 opportunities. And Atlanta to kill it off for Shelley Heaton of Dunwoody. Here's Redmond shooting from the blue line. He scores! Seven seconds after Brad Marsh went off for hooking, the Bruins held it in. Bork back to Redmond at the blue line. Redmond cranks up, lets it go, beating Daniel Bouchard, 1-0 Boston Bruins. For Dick Redmond, his 8th goal of the season.
Scored by number 10, John Rattell.
Well, Rattell is giving credit for the goal. Well, apparently it was deflected after all.
7, Ray Bork. And number 6, Dick Redmond. Time of the goal, 16 minutes even.
It's still only 7 seconds after the penalty. Rattell
John Rattell.
giving credit for the goal. That will be his 17th this year. Here they come again, 2-on-1. Wensink over the line. The pass cut off neatly by Reinhardt. Unger picks it up. Unger to Paul Reinhardt. Reinhardt feeds it to Rhoda. Rhoda at center ice across the Boston line. Can't get through the defense. Plett knocked the puck loose, but McNabb came over to clear it down into the Atlanta zone. Wensink chasing it. Reinhardt back to knock it away from him. To Russell. Russell got it to the line, but not out. Now Russell with another shot. That hit Wensink. Wensink checked by Willie Plett. Plett fires it into the center ice zone. Back for it goes Ray Bork. Bork over to Redmond. Redmond back to Bork. Bork into the center ice zone to McNabb. McNabb across the Atlanta line. Fed it through to Wensink. Wensink shoots one off the right pad of Bouchard. Ends up back in the net. Unger controlling it there. Unger starts out on the left wing side. Into center ice. Unger to Plett. Off his skates. It's loose in the Boston zone. Plett and Milbury chasing it. Wensink piles in. Here's Unger clearing it around the boards. And Murdoch, who just come out of the ice, picks it up at center. Over to Marsh on this left side. Brad Marsh backhands one into the Boston zone. Milbury chasing it. 1-0 Bruins. Milbury around the boards. Murdoch moved in, blocked it, but it went right to McTavish. He's checked at center ice. It's picked up now by Milbury. Milbury shooting it into the Atlanta zone. Brad Marsh got it to Nielsen. Back to Marsh. Murdoch without a helmet takes the pass. Bob Murdoch shooting it down into the Boston zone. It was intended for Chouinard. Gilbert has to come out of the net to play it. McMillan going in after it. Bob McMillan is checked, and the Bruins move it up. We've got a penalty against Jonathan. Jonathan hooked McMillan away from the puck, and the Flames are going to get an opportunity to play 6 against 5. We go to a power play contest for Magic Market Stores. This one for Susan Price of East Point.
Boston penalty to number 17, Stan Jonathan. 2 minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty, 17 minutes, 40 seconds.
17:40, the time of the penalty to Jonathan. Boston leads. Rattell deflected Redmond's shot. Rattell just got a stick on it there, forcing it to change direction. It deflected by Bouchard. So it's Rattell from Bork and Redmond at the 16-minute mark. A milestone goal for Jean Rattell, apparently. It's a pat from Coach Fred Creighton, and the fans get up on their feet to give Jean a standing ovation. He acknowledges it. What a great man he has been for this sport for so many years with the Rangers, then here in Boston after that tremendous trade in '75. Reinhardt shoots one from the blue line. It's cleared aside by Gilbert, and the Bruins shoot it up into the crowd. It's grabbed at the Atlanta players' bench. Willie Plett throwing it to a young fan behind the bench. The face-off will be to the right of Gilles Gilbert. The Flames thought they had scored first this afternoon when Darcy Rhoda beat Gilbert. Only after the goal nullified when Plett and Bork were throwing punches at one another in the Atlanta end of the ice. From the draw, Vale gets it back to Reinhardt. Then along the boards to Eric Vale. The Big E trying to get away from Miller. Goes to the corner with it. Vale to Houston. Houston around the boards. Reinhardt comes in from the flank. Gets it to Vale. Eric Vale back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt from the blue line is shot blocked by Rick Smith. Smith lofts it high in the air off the stick of Miller down into the Atlanta zone. Coming back for it is Chouinard. Here's Chouinard to Paul Reinhart. Reinhart carries it to center over the Boston line. Reinhart in on the far boards. Back to the point to Chouinard. Chouinard's pass blocked by Lalonde. Now Bolderev has it. Bolderev back of the net to Houston to Reinhart. Paul Reinhart for the Flames to the blue line to Chouinard. Guy fires one. That went wide of the net. Comes off the boards to Bolderev. Bolderev to Vale. Eric Vale trying to get around Lalonde. Couldn't do it. Bolderev has it at the blue line. Starts to move in. Winds up. Shoots that one off Houston. Bolderev, another shot. It's loose. Cleared aside by Gilbert. And Smith backhands it. Held in by Reinhart at the Boston line. Reinhart over to Vale. Vale fires. He scores! Eric Vale blasting one over the shoulder of Gilbert, and we're tied 1-1. Been a long time since the Big E got that booming slap shot away like that off the left side. And we're tied by the power play. Gilbert cleared the puck. Rick Smith lofted it to the line. It was held in by Reinhart. He fed it to Vale. Eric cranked up. And there it went. Gilbert got a piece of it, but not enough to stop it, and it was in the top of the net. So we have a $10 gift certificate for Susan Price. We have a tied hockey game.
By number 23, Paul Reinhart. Time to goal, 18 minutes, 47 seconds.
18:47, the time of the goal. 1-1 in the first period. Here's Rattel turning in the Atlanta zone. He shoots and hit Brad Marsh. Marsh has it beneath him. And the face-off will be in the Atlanta territory. Eric Vale's 16th goal of the season. His fourth on the power play. And that's been the difference in this period. Flames had a chance in 8:18 when Secord was off, but couldn't score with that manpower advantage. But they come back with Jonathan in the penalty box to get their 26th power play goal of the season. Now Bork starting out for Boston. Down to center ice. Pulls to the left. Shoots it around the boards in the Atlanta zone. Daniel cuts it off back of the net. Bouchard up the left wing. It's held in by McCrimmon. His shot changed direction. Back of the net, the Bruins. Jonathan got it to Middleton. Middleton had it poked away from him by Bob Murdoch. And there's Rhoda to dump it to center. Into the Boston zone. It's going to go wide of the net. Bork will go back to touch up. Flames are called for icing the puck. 22 seconds remaining in the period. The next Magic Market year of the uniform night will be February 2nd when the Flames take on Gordie Howe and the Hartford Whalers. You want to be out, bring the youngsters so that over the years they'll be able to say that they saw Gordie Howe play, a man who has played 5 decades in the National Hockey League. 51-year-old Gordie Howe and the Hartford Whalers at the Omni. February 2nd, Magic Market's year of the uniform, sock night. Socks for the youngsters. The puck cleared in the Atlanta zone. Bilberry working it around the boards. Brad Marsh is back. Marsh ahead to Vale on the left side. Vale to Murdoch. Got it to the line. Held in by McTavish. Here's McTavish moving in. Shoots. Bouchard the save. Covers up on it. He had it in the glove. Dropped it. And then put the right pad down on top of it. We have 2 seconds remaining. Just time enough for a face-off in the Atlanta zone. But there's still time to get a shot away. So it's an important draw coming up. First intermission guests, Brad Marsh and Paul Reinhart, roommates. A couple of first-round draft picks over the last 2 years for the Flames. Sort of hockey's odd couple in a sense. Well, not what you're thinking, Skip. Bolderev on this face-off. It came back to Secord. His shot was grabbed by Bouchard. It wouldn't have counted anyway because the green light had already come on. And the teams head for the dressing room. A pretty good first period of hockey here at the Boston Garden this afternoon. The Bruins scored first. Flames came back to tie it, both via the power play.
Atlanta, 5.
And the score at the end of the first period, Atlanta Flames won, the Boston Bruins. This afternoon, the goal by Darcy Rhoda was called back because Willie Plett and Ray Bork were throwing punches at one another. Each got 5-minute major penalties there. And then later on, a penalty against Brad Marsh for hooking at 15:53, set up a Bruin power play. Rattel deflecting Dick Redmond's shot at 16-minute mark. It was 1-0 Boston, but Eric Vale got it back. Jonathan was in the penalty box for hooking. Reinhart held the puck in at the blue line after the Bruins had tried to clear it out. He got it to Vale, moved in on the left side and blasted one. Gilbert got a little bit of it and went up into the top of the net, and the game is tied 1-1. Shots on goal in the first period by Boston 11, by the Atlanta Flames 5. The Bruins are back out on the ice. Now Daniel Bouchard comes from the Atlanta dressing room leading the Flames and will be ready for the second period right after these messages.
Atlanta Flames hockey is being brought to you in part by Fiat and Fiat Strada, European performance with the best gas mileage of any compact car in America. By Panasonic, the folks who are just slightly ahead of their time. And by Days Inns. You'll have good times at Days Inns.
Right, the Atlanta Flames, the goal to the left. I'm Jakes McDonald at the Boston Garden as Coach Al McNeil has sent Gary Unger to center. Darcy Rhoda on the left, Willie Platt on the right. Brad Marsh teamed up with Bob Murdoch on the Atlanta defense. McNabb got the draw for the Bruins. O'Reilly clearing it back into his own zone. Chasing it is Rick Smith. Smith around behind the net to Milbury. Milbury to McNabb. McNabb a right wing pass to O'Reilly. O'Reilly shoots it into the Atlanta zone behind Murdoch. He and Wensing bumped together. The puck comes loose. Marsh failed to clear it. Here's O'Reilly back in the net, and Murdoch came back to pick it up. Bob Murdoch dumps one off into the center ice area. Milbury for the Bruins, just shooting it in over the Atlanta line. O'Reilly racing in after it. O'Reilly checked by Murdoch. The puck loose. Unger failed to clear it. It's picked up now by Rhoda. Darcy Rhoda had trouble getting started. Here's Plett over the Boston line. Willie turns, shoots. That went wide of the net. Ends up in the near boards. Plett with his own rebound. Dumps it around behind the goal to Rhoda. Was poked away from him by Milbury. There's O'Reilly in for the Bruins. O'Reilly trying to go back in the net was checked. Came out in front. Boldarev trying to center. The play broken up, and McNabb starts out. McNabb to Milbury. Milbury over the Atlanta line, gets it to Wensing. He shoots one off the skates of Milbury. Darcy Rhoda has it for the Flames. Rhoda dumps it into center for Boldarev. 2-on-1 with Platt. Boldarev to Platt. Willie cranks up, shoots off the shoulder of Gilbert, and it's knocked out of the air by Rick Smith, who came back in a hurry. Smith, right wing to Milbury. Milbury to Middleton. He shoots it in over the line, but right to Phil Russell. Russell sends Boldarev to center ice. Ahead to Vail. He's across the Boston line. Bork takes him out of the play. Here's Houston trying to center. Back to Russell. Russell shoots one. Gilbert, the stick hand save. Redmond has the loose puck and finally is able to clear it to the blue line for Middleton. Middleton to Bork. Bork carries it to center. Check to see Fell at the Atlanta line. And the Bruins are offside as they moved in ahead of Ray Bork in this case. This is the only afternoon game in the National Hockey League. A lot of action to be played tonight. The Flames come out bombarding here to open up period number 2. Testing Gilbert as Boldarev and Platt moved it back and forth, and Willie blasted one that went off Gilbert straight up in the air, came down, and Smith knocked it out of the air. Back to the action in the Boston zone. It was centered out in front. Bale with a shot. Gilbert, a dazzling save again. He's got the flu. You never know it. Redmond to Jonathan. Jonathan shooting it into the Atlanta zone. Bouchard back in the net to cut it off. Lays it around to the left wing for Vail. Rink wide pass now to Houston. Houston at center. Golfs it into the Boston zone. Gilbert out of the net to cut it off. Leaves it for Redmond. Redmond playing it off the boards into center ice. Guy Chouinard goes back. Chouinard to Reinhardt. To Vail, who missed the pass. Redmond shoots one into the Atlanta zone. Bouchard unable to cut it off. It comes around the boards to Jonathan. Jonathan failed to center. Houston starts out. Kenny Houston. Long pass off the boards to Vail. He's over the Boston line. Can't get through the defense. Smith is there to clear it ahead for Jonathan. Jonathan to Foster into the Atlanta zone. Drop pass to Jonathan. Jonathan rolls one back of the net. He was tied up there by Russell. In comes Bob Miller. The puck comes loose. Chouinard playing it around the boards in his own zone for McMillan. Bob McMillan dumps it out, but the whistle has sounded. Sticks up now. Russell and Jonathan get entangled. There's a mismatch in size. It's more of a grapple session right now. Oh, Russell gets the right hand loose. Look at him go to work on Jonathan. Mr. Jonathan bit off more than he could chew in this case. Russell has him draped over the crossbar before the linesmen go in to try and separate them. It started with a little jostling back of the net. Sticks came up, and Russell got a hand loose and tattooed his number on Stan Jonathan's nose. Jonathan trying to slap his face now. You can see the strain that Willard Norris, the linesman, is under, trying to separate them. He and Wayne Bonney, the other linesman. Full-blooded Indian from the Six Nations Reserve just outside of Brantford, Ontario, Stan Jonathan. He's well-liked here in the Boston Garden and throughout the city. But Ian Russell mix it up and went behind the Atlanta goal. The puck had been cleared. The play had started to move out of the Flames' end of the ice. Russell has been cut up along the right eye. That, I think, from a stick. But as they went back of the net, Jonathan, 17, and Russell, 3, got entangled on the boards. Jonathan was taken out of the play, and the puck was finally cleared. Jonathan gave him an elbow over the back of the head. Then he gave him a shot on the side of the head. McMillan went to clear the puck. And in the meantime, Russell and Jonathan have got things going at the side of the net.
Russell and Jonathan, 2 for high sticking, 5 for fighting, at 2:48.
2:48, time of the penalties, 2 each for high sticking, and 5 minutes each for fighting. The teams with twin incidental majors and minors remain at 6 aside. Here's Nielsen into the Boston zone, shoots one, that went wide of the net, comes bouncing out over the line to center where Radicalio will pick it up. Pekka Radicalio to Shan. David Shan back to Pekka. We're tied 1-1. Radicalio checked at the blue line and was shot back in offside, and they'll face off outside the Atlanta zone. The Flames and the Buffalo Sabres next at the Omni on Monday, January 21st. That's the game that has been rescheduled from last November 30th. Your tickets for the previous date will be honored for the new date, Monday, January 21st. Pekka Radicalio played it off the boards in his own zone. Lalonde is checked. Flames trying to move it out over the line. Couldn't do it. Here's Bob Miller starting in. Miller to Foster. He overskated it. Radicalio shoots it around the boards. McCrimmon comes in for the Bruins. The young defenseman lost it. Radicalio draws a crowd as he plays it to the right wing for McMillan. Checked immediately. Here's Miller, turn, shoots that, hit Shan, and just went wide. Nielsen for the Flames. Dumps it into the center ice zone. McCrimmon is back for Boston. McCrimmon out to center ice to Lalonde. Adds it right to Nielsen with Chouinard over the line. Nielsen shoots. Gilbert, the skate save. He was looking for that one about 1.5 feet off the ice, and it dropped, hit him right on the skates. Al Chouinard took Nielsen's pass, is upended and dropped in the center ice area. Lalonde over the Atlanta line. Drop pass to Miller. Miller shoots one. That went high and wide of the net. Ends up in the crowd as it ricocheted off the glass. The face-off will be outside the blue line. 15:50 remaining in period number 2. Both teams making some player changes. So with 15:50 left in the second period, the score is Atlanta 1, Boston 1. Play is underway. The Flames in the Boston zone. Unger's shot went wide, and back comes McNabb. McNabb into the center ice area. Across the Atlanta line. Over to O'Reilly. O'Reilly, a backhand shot blocked and cleared by Unger. That will force the Bruins after it as Plett chases Bork. Plett and Bork back into the Boston zone. It's loose in front. Cleared. Gilbert had it. It's underneath him. He sits down on it, and finally Plett falls over top of the Boston goaltender. Gilbert just hung with that puck as the Flames did a good forechecking job. Forced the rookie defenseman Bork into a situation that he'll regret. After coughing up the puck in his own end of the ice, Willie Plett was all over top of the young man. As Bork tried to turn, Willie snuck around him. That's where Gilbert came out of the net. Got it to Milbury. The puck was loose. Gilbert falling. Rhoda fell over top of him. Then Plett was pushed down on top of the goaltender. We have 15:04 remaining in the period. The face-off to the left of Gilles Gilbert. Bolderev, Vale, and Houston for Atlanta. Ivan got the draw to Houston, back to the point. Reinhart cranks up, the shot went wide. Gilbert got a piece of it as he came out of the net. Rattel is checked, now McCrimmon with the puck. Ahead to Middleton, out to center ice to Secord. Al Secord into the Atlanta zone, and Rattel moves in, fired one wide. Rattel missed on a pretty setup by the Bruins. Middleton is checked in the Atlanta zone. Paul Reinhart for the Flames. Reinhart, a long pass off the boards. It comes into the center ice area. Middleton back for the Bruins. Middleton over to Redmond. Redmond on this left side to Secord. Long backhand shot. Bouchard the glove save. Daniel plays it up the right wing to Houston. Houston guides it into the center ice zone, and that will force Redmond back for the Bruins. Redmond waiting behind the net. Bolderev in forechecking. 1-1 tie. Redmond zigzagging, waiting for his teammates to come back. Now plays it up the left wing. It was stolen by Houston. Back to the blue line. There was nobody there for the Flames. David Shan ties up Rattel on the boards at center ice. Secord comes up. The puck finally loose. The Bruins have it. Redmond, a long pass to Middleton over the line. Middleton trying to get set. Turns, centers. Rattel poked at it. Bouchard plays it aside for Houston. Houston bumped by Secord, but Bolderev is back. Ivan Bolderev comes out of the corner. Lost it in front of his own goal, but got some help from Paul Reinhart. Reinhardt turned it but not out. McCrimmon moves in. A centering pass to Middleton. Middleton coming right in. Scores! Well, Middleton fooled the Atlanta defense. After Reinhardt had cleared the puck to the blue line, it was held in. They got it over to Middleton. David Shand was beaten, turned, grabbed at Middleton. Middleton got a low shot away that just eluded Daniel Bouchard, and it's 2-1 Boston.
Scored by number 16, Rick Middleton. Assisted by number 29, Brad McCrimmon. Time of the goal, 6 minutes, 18 seconds.
Middleton from McCrimmon at 6:19, and it's 2-1 Boston. Brad Marsh playing it around the boards for McMillan. McMillan unable to move it out over the line. Now Marsh is checked in his own zone. Brad got it away from McTavish, has it in his skates, kicks it to Clement. Clement around the boards for Kent Nielsen. Nielsen plays it back of the net for Marsh. Brad Marsh sidesteps the check of Lalonde. Marsh ahead to Clement. Clement into center ice to McMillan. McMillan is too well covered. Here's Murdoch with the puck. He's over the line with Nielsen. Nielsen takes the pass. No, he was checked by Rick Smith. Clement has it now. Clement trying to center back in the Boston goal. Checked by Ricky Smith. There's Nielsen to steal it. Nielsen put it right out in front. It was blocked and cleared aside by Milbury. McMillan chasing it down. McMillan centers, blocked in front by Milbury. Marsh from the blue line fires when the hit McTavish, and the Bruins dump it to center. McTavish will pick it up. He shoots it right to Bouchard in the Atlanta goal. Daniel playing it off for Marsh. Marsh back of the net. Now to Murdoch. Bob Murdoch turns, carries it around behind the goal. Waits for some help to come back. Now Murdoch to Marsh. Marsh off the boards to Kent Nielsen. Nielsen couldn't control it. Rick Smith shooting it into the Atlanta zone. Bouchard leaves it behind the goal for Bob Murdoch. Murdoch carries it to the blue line. Out of this right side to center. Murdoch checked as he came to the Boston zone. Back comes O'Reilly with McNabb. O'Reilly waits. Now shoots. Bouchard the save. The rebound is picked off by Brad Marsh. Marsh from back of his own goal. Lost it to McNabb. McNabb turns on the left wing side into the corner to Wensink. Wensink trying to center. Bouchard got a piece of it. O'Reilly is knocked down. Here's Wensink with the puck. Wensink chased to the boards by Murdoch. Now O'Reilly trying to come out of the corner. Flattened by Marsh. Both of them go to the ice. The puck ends up beneath Brad Marsh, and there's no further play. With 11:38 remaining, period number 2, the score, Boston Bruins 2, Atlanta Flames 1. The face-off is in the Atlanta zone to the right of Daniel Bouchard. Al McNeil has Unger there to take the draw against Peter McNabb. McNabb got the face-off to O'Reilly. Back to McNabb. He shoots to score. Goal of the year for Peter McNabb, set up by O'Reilly after McNabb had taken the face-off in the Atlanta zone. O'Reilly just gave it right back to McNabb, and he tipped it on the backhand underneath goaltender Daniel Bouchard. The goal is at 8:25.
Number 8, Peter McNabb. Assisted by number 24, Jerry O'Reilly. And the goal, 8 minutes, 25 seconds.
O'Reilly the only assist on the goal. Middleton with his 16th of the year broke the 1-1 tie at 6:19. Now a little more than 2 minutes later, McNabb scores from O'Reilly, and it's 3-1 favor of the Bruins. On Monday night, simulcast at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's preceded on the radio side with a warm-up show for D. Geller & Son, the official jeweler of the Atlanta Flames. Bouchard clearing the puck in his own zone following the draw. It's loose in front of the net again, taken by Platt. Platt dumps one out over the line. Back at center ice is Milbury for the Bruins. Mike Milbury lost it to Reinhardt. Hands it right back to Milbury. Milbury to Jean Rattel. Here's Rattel at center. To Middleton off his stick into the Atlanta zone. Platt stepped in front of Secord. Willie Platt around the boards for Marsh to the line. Held in. McCrimmon a long shot. That was deflected in front. Secord slapping at it. Panned on the shot. Rattel trying to roll it out in front. It's on the doorstep. And back comes Unger. Gary Unger down to center ice with Platt. Platt takes the pass, but he's offside. Ahead of the play as Unger put it right on his stick. And the linesman Willard Norris calling the play. 10:42 remaining in the second period. Upcoming at the Omni while the Flames are on the road, the Royal Lipizzan Stallions at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Wrestling tomorrow night at 8. And the U.S. Figure Skating Championships opening January 15th, Tuesday through the 20th. Tickets available at all seats outlets. The Flames return to play the